These races are at Goshen, New York, and one of them, Long Key, is winning the second heat of the trotting derby, and that's him there, I believe. And Rosalind's winning the first heat of the progressive trot. These are Goshen, New York, and you'll see, I guess there's horses warming up there, and that's another race. I'm just not sure of these. And then there's Ben White afterwards, after winning with Rosalind, giving an autograph. Now here is something really good. It's Greyhound and Rosalind going for their team record at Indianapolis, Indiana. And it's too bad Gib was taking these pictures and the grandstand shut off the lighting some, but you could still see Greyhound. I know they'd only hooked them once or twice together, and it was really something to see. These scenes here are at Lexington. That's Rosalind and Long Key, Gib has written down, and Rosalind Diana Dyer. Now these are the cattle on Mr. Reynolds' Point farm, and it'll all show later Dora Scott and the Abbott, but they're not very plainly. And there's one of Mr. Reynolds' white-faced cows. And Deary and her foal, Sir Gibson. Now there's Mr. W.N. Reynolds, the man that I worked for a long time and had Tar Heel and all those great horses. And these are some scenes, I think, taken at Mr. Reynolds' Point farm. Now here's Greyhound going for his world's record of 56 3/4 at Lexington, and I was there and happened to see this trotting in 56 3/4. This picture here is of Shallenden when he set a world's record for 13/16 in 54 3, and that must have been at Keeneland. Now these are others. This is Alice Jane, a filly Gib had out of Rosalind. I think she and Deanna were the only fillies ever got out of Rosalind, and I don't think he got too many foals out of each one of them. There's somebody going with his hands out. I think that probably was Ben. He'd do that every once in a while. There's Ben right there. Now this is Buck, one of Mr. White's old caretakers, hanging out. He's washing. I can remember him. And there is Harley with his Bantam rooster. Then these scenes, Gib must have taken them on the way back to Arizona, are antelopes in Texas, just outside of Abilene. He must have taken these scenes on the way. Now, we used to do a lot of cockfighting, and I trained at Orlando. And here's Guy Hazley with the fighting cock. And then you'll see him fighting there. And Guy would always have a couple around. There's a picture of an opossum. Now, Gib White was kind of a good sport and everything. He had a pacer, Jack Orr. He got a good record as a 2-year-old. And back in those days, you'd make pretty good money with a guideless wonder at the fairs. There used to be one, he'd go the half in a minute and go a mile around 2.5 or 2.6, all by himself. And Gib was trying to train Jack Orr to be a guideless wonder. And he took him up to a track at DeLand, Florida, where they used to have races. Then he also brought him back and tried to train him again at Seminole. That's Gib on the left there. And you'll see him trying to make a guideless wonder out of him. These next scenes are Goshen, New York, the 1941 Hambletonian. His Excellency won the first heat. There's Ben right there of His Excellency. And he was 1-2-2, but Bill Gallen with Lee Smith won the race. He was 6-1-1. The purse is $38,729. Marijuana by Scotland with Vic Fleming was right there. Is Lee Smith with Bill Gallen winning that heat, and you can see Ben finishing second. His horse. Now this race right here is a picture of Alice Jane that Gib thought was going to be another Rosalind, but she didn't quite make it. I remember that white snip in her face, but she did race pretty good, but never was quite as good as he expected her to be. Now this race, they're parading for the 1941 Hambletonian that was raced in August, or 1940 Hambletonian that raced August the 14th, is won by Spencer Scott, driven by Fred Egan. He was owned by C.W. Fellows. And the horse that was second in the race, both heats, was Remus, a nice big colt by Protector. And Harry Short drove him and owned a piece of him with Billy Dickerson and Paul Bowser. Kuno was 3-3 in the race. Queen Victoria, owned by Bill Strang with Ben White, was 4-7. And Princess Pert was 9-4. Vic Fleming and Milestone, owned by Joe Neville and driven by Curly Smart, was 6-5. Now there's Clem McCarthy. I'm sure he was the announcer that day. Clem was a pretty good announcer and did a lot of announcing for our trotting races at Goshen and Roosevelt Raceway. But these are good pictures of the Goshen. You see there was there, you can see Harry Short with these white colors finishing the race. And there's, you'll see Mr. Egan go in the winner's circle. That's Mr. Mooney on Fred's left there, and Mr. Fellis, the owner, there. Now these races were all in the Kentucky Futurity when Eaton won a heat, Kuno won a heat, and Spencer Scott won the last race. Now here's something really to see is Francis Dodge Johnson, Francis Van Lennep, riding Greyhound to a world's record under saddle. And I know that Francis was carrying her last daughter, her first daughter, first child, when she rode this horse. Now here's Queen Victoria taken her record. And this is Whirlaway winning his 2-year-old Breeders' Futurity race at Keeneland at Lexington. That's this Ted Atkinson. The picture was, this movie was taken of Ted at Hialeah riding Manamaid. And you'll see Ted pulling up here at Tropical Park or going by